Well, Pacers fans may have spent some time the past couple of days Googling Nate Bjorkgren. He was not among the big names that were rumored to be candidates for the team's head coach job. But as WRTV's Brad Brown shows us, the new coach comes here with plenty of high marks.
The waiting game for the NBA season continues. Still unsure when games will actually begin. But the Pacers' waiting game for their new coach is done.
I love playing here as coaching against the Pacers. I'm going to love being on the side of the home team now.
Nate Bjorkgren comes to Indiana after a successful run as an assistant in Toronto. He was Nick Nurse's right-hand man during their 2019 championship run. The Pacers' job will be Nate's first as an NBA head coach.
From the very first Zoom call that I had with him, it felt good. I just remember, shutting off the Zoom call, or even in the interview process when I left Indianapolis during the second interview, I had no regrets.
We talked a little bit about having a coach that is willing to take more risks, who we will praise to take risk, and sometimes it may not work, but I think there's a learning process behind taking risk that's super important in the NBA today.
He does bring a wealth of coaching experience to Indiana, 14 years on the sidelines, 4 of those as a head coach in the NBA's G League, 4 different teams in that frame, which made him very adaptable very quickly.
You have to be able to coach on the fly. You have to be able to make decisions quickly. And you can't worry about things. You can't worry about injuries or a player not playing in that game. The next man will be there and ready to perform.
Bjorkgren says he's ready to bring an aggressive style to the Pacers, calls it disruptive on both ends of the floor, focusing on adaptation and making changes.
You look at our teams, and as a fan and media and as a member of the Indiana Pacers organization, will be a fun team to watch. You're going to see a lot of movement on both sides of the ball.
And after another year of getting swept out of the playoffs, the entire Pacers organization seems ready for a fresh start, a fresh outlook, and a fresh energy.
This team is ready. And as you know, they're great basketball players, but they're even better people.
He brings a good-natured, fun, brings joy back to basketball. And that doesn't mean he can't be tough. And I think the balance that he'll bring is he'll know when to be tough. He'll know when to push the players, but he'll also know when to put his arm around them and say, hey, listen, we got this.
Pritchard said they had about a dozen candidates at the start of the process, moved it down to 6, and then eventually got it down to their final decision. Nate says he's been in contact with his players. In fact, Victor Oladipo was the first to text him and welcome him to Indianapolis. Of course, the NBA calendar is the big thing that remains up in the air. We do not have a schedule yet for the 2021 season, but we do know the NBA draft is up next. That's set for November 18th. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.